about that time for the Paul Michael Davis MCTV Live Takeover.
What's up? I'm Paul Michael Davis, MCTV Live V6, alright? Today's interview is special guest Jay Pryor. Jay is a speaker, an author, and executive coach. Jay is the author of Lean Inside, 7 Steps to Personal Power, a practical guide to transformation for women. You heard that right, you heard that correctly. Transformation for women. Jay has been doing queer education and activism for over 30 years and is the creator of the Gender Reveal Party, a one-human show about growing up a transgender human in the Midwest. And the Gender Reveal Party podcast is dedicated to revealing gender through sharing stories of brave humans willing to share their lived and their live experience. Please welcome to MCTV Live. Please welcome to Paul Michael Davis MCTV Live YouTube channel. The whoa man, the myth, the legend, Jay Pryor. Give it up. Human? Jay Pryor.
Sure. My name is Jay Pryor, and I'm an author, a speaker, and an executive coach, and I am the creator of a one-human show called The Gender Reveal Party, and I'm the creator of the Gender Reveal Party podcast, which is dedicated to revealing gender through stories of brave humans willing to share their experience, walking through the world as something other than, or to just have a deep conversation about gender. But most of us so far are people who walk in the world as something other than the sex we were assigned at birth.
Mm-hmm. But explain more about, people watching, they don't really know they don't know you like I know you, okay?
Yeah. Sure. So I was assigned female at birth. I was born in 1966. They looked at my genitals and named me Janet. And I was a tomboy, and things were fine. I was one of the toughest kids on the block, kind of tomboy. So things were good for me until probably 6th grade. And in 6th grade, it was like the world flipped upside down. The summer before, all my tomboy friends, all my tomboy friends were playing football right alongside me and had their shirts off. And next thing I know, we're going back to school, and they're wearing purses, and they've got makeup on, and all they ever talk about is when they're going to start their periods, and they're all into boys, and I'm clueless because all I want to do is play football and play Army and fight and wrestle and be a boyish type of person. Now, my whole life I've been told that I can't do these things because I'm a girl. Like, I couldn't play football, you can't shoot a gun, you can't do these things. Mm-hmm. So, life got weird for me. In that time, at the same time, was when my own body started to defy me, and my mom decided it was time for me to get a training bra because apparently these things need to be trained. Mm-hmm. So I find myself spread eagle and JC.
They kind of go wild if you're not trained. So
yeah, right. So anyway, long story short, for me that started a really powerful conversation for me called "Something Is Wrong with You," right? So I really felt like everybody else seems to understand what the hell's going on. What's wrong with me? Right?
That has got to be such a disheartening.
Everybody else seemed to know what to do, and I would try to fake it, but it never felt right. And then when I was 14 years old, I think-ish, another girl kissed me, and that for me was like, oh, that's what's wrong with me. I'm gay.
How old were you?
Like 14.
Yeah.
This was in the early 80s, like 1980. So I go, oh, that's what's wrong with me. I'm gay. A split second later, I'm like, oh, I'm gay. Like, I can't be gay. I'm in a small town of 500 people in southeast Kansas. My dad's the mayor. Like, I can't be gay. So, unfortunately, that sent me on a whole suicidal, drunk, binge through high school. And I always make sure to say this when I'm speaking. While I was a suicidal person and very depressed and drinking way too much, I was still the junior class president and the student body president of my high school.
And now, what age?
16, 17,
Wow.
junior in high school. My junior year of high school, I drove my parents' car 100 miles an hour down a country road and flipped it to try to kill myself.
Oh my gosh.
So 2 years later, I landed in a psychiatric unit for trying to kill myself. And that's the first place anybody ever said to me, "There's nothing wrong with you, kid, you're just gay."
Who said this?
It was actually a butch lesbian. I was standing up at the medicine counter, I'll never forget it, and I hear this ding, like the elevator goes off, and I turn around, and this woman steps out. For me, it was like, it was like Fonzie. Just stepped out of the elevator. She had black jeans on and black boots and a motorcycle helmet, and
she worked there?
No, she was there to visit her partner at the time.
Really?
Yeah. And so I hung out with them, and they were the first lesbian couple I ever knew, and they were the first people that I ever felt at home with. Like, they just got me, and this one was like, you're a queer kid. That's all. And that was like game-changing for me.
I bet. I mean,
Yeah,
that's like a whole realization opened up.
I mean, there's all kinds of things. I was AWOL from the military, so I was in the psychiatric unit. So when I came out to the military, fortunately, I was a reservist at the time, and I had a medical thing before. They gave me a medical discharge because in 1984, 1985, if you were gay in the military, you'd have a dishonorable discharge, and that would follow you around the rest of your life. So they gave me an honorable discharge, fortunately, and I got out. But I would have stayed in. Like, I loved the Army.
Oh, man.
I loved it, man. I loved it. Boot camp was one of my favorite things in life. I loved the military.
Wow.
But I couldn't be in the military and be out. And for me, at that point, it was life or death. If I would stayed in the closet, I'd have killed myself. There's no way. I couldn't.
God bless.
I couldn't deal. So I came out of the closet. I moved to Lawrence, Kansas. And there I lived. But my expression then was butch. And so I had a nickname Jay. And I cut my hair, and I wore guys' clothes, and I felt super comfortable in my skin, and I loved my life. And
so your the name your parents gave you was Janet Pryor? Yes, that's so cool. Okay, I see.
Yeah, and just like some education, trans people, like, I share that because I'm open, and part of my commitment is to educate people. But trans people, once they change their names, they consider that old name their dead name. A lot of people do. Yeah, they call it your dead name. So I don't feel that way, and part of that is just I'm old. I'm 55 years old. So.
Everyone has different opinions, and that's the crazy thing about this world is that even on the topics of the gender and there's no other thoughts or ideas. That's it. Boom, you get it. But then when you have like two people talking like this, separate, individualized, you see that there's so many more avenues of the topics.
Well, you hope that adults at some point get mature enough to understand that to generalize a population of people is idiotic.
Oh, yeah.
To say that people like that, all gays are one way, or all straight people are one way, or all. I mean, it's easy for me to say all cis het people are kind of whacked, if you ask me. But I mean, the way you people live in the binary and think that your genitalia actually dictates the roles you should have in your life is beyond my comprehension.
All right. So let's get back to serious again. All right. So you just said a word.
I know.
That when we first met, I never put it towards male, female, sexual, binary. I mean, well, you said binary,
right?
And I always put that towards like numbers, ones and twos.
Right.
So explain that for everyone.
Right. So I'm talking about when we talk about the binary in terms of gender, we're talking about there's men and there's women, and there's that's the binary. That's all there is, and that's not life. it's just not. Life is not binary, and when I said cis het, so cis means same. So a cisgender person, you are a cisgender person. So you were born with male genitalia, and you think of yourself as a man. So your genitals and your brain match.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the same, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody who is born like I was, where I have female genitalia, but I'm most expressed as a boy growing up, that's not the same. Now, some people like me, I have like friends who once they transition, and like I did, and go on testosterone, they are stealth, and you would never know them in the world. They're men. As far as they were concerned, they were born in the wrong body. They had it fixed. They're done. I'm not that person. I'm a gender queer. I love the fact that I was classically trained female. I love the fact that in the Midwest, like I'm happy and grateful for that, because having walked around as an undercover white guy for 18 years, and the privilege that I'm handed, like I'll take the pink box if I have to pick one.
So there's so many different routes in the last like 30 seconds that I can go on the topic.
There's certain people who believe in science, and there's certain people who don't.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
So first of all, I'm never going to argue with somebody who believes something different than me, because belief is really deep. And so if you really, really believe something different than me, there's not really any point in having a conversation. I'm never going to change your belief. Like, I'm not interested. I have no interest in that. What I'm interested in is finding workability to keep me and my family and my children safe. Because right now, people who believe differently are violent to me, and are violent to my children, and are violent.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier about your.
And I'm not talking about the fact that my kid gets his lunch eaten at school. I'm talking about the 47 trans people who were murdered last year just because they were trans. So all I'm asking is, I don't care if you believe differently than me, stay away from me then, and keep your violence away from me. Because the fact that you're violent over someone's genitals expression being different than the fact that how they want to dress is ludicrous and absurd, and that's mentally ill. If you want to hurt me because my genitals don't match how I want to dress, that's mentally ill. Do you know that guy named Bob Campbell?
Yeah, I do.
Because I'm older, so he's an older comedian. Right, that guy, right? So he did this bit a long time ago where he was talking about gay bashing, and he was like acting like he was beating up a gay guy, and he was like, and I hate you because you're gay, and I hate you because you look cute in those pants, and I hate you because I really want to be with you. And, so most of the time, there's a phrase in coaching that I teach my clients, and that I think all humans should understand, and that's what you resist persists. So anything that you push against will come at you stronger.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so
it's like physics. Exactly.
It's physics, but it's also just a rule of life.
Yeah.
Right. And so, in any relationship, for example, if you have resistance and you keep pushing at it, it's gonna just you gotta sometimes step back, right?
Yeah.
But when someone is angry about gay people, or angry about violent towards the 2S LGBTQIA plus community, what I know is that there's something in them that they're afraid of. Because when I was coming up, one of the reasons I wanted to kill myself and die is A, I thought I was going to hell. But B, I hated myself, and I hated what was in me. And so I would say I wouldn't walk across the street to piss on a queer if they were on fire. I called a radio station when I was 14 years old to say that all gay people should be shot.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's how much I hated
myself.
myself.
I see that, though, because I know people that were like that.
Are they out now?
Come to find out, years down the road, they were gay.
Yeah.
But they used to, I'm a KU fan. And when I was younger, I was a big-time KU fan.
Thank you,
and
Rock
KU,
I'm a KU alum, man.
Lawrence and KU are known for gay pride. Out of all colleges around here.
I used to lead those gay prides. I did, man.
But so like out of all the colleges around here, KU's that. So I would get made fun of. I had to go to KU every weekend to go party or go be with my friends. And I would get told by these people, you're going to come back with a boyfriend, you're going to come back with this and whatever. I'm like, And so, but then come to find out, these people that were telling me this ended up being gay.
Yeah.
They came out like 15 years later. I'm like, dude, that's like.
You fight against what you're afraid of.
I'm like that's hypocrisy.
But it's
at
all
its
over
finest.
the place. You see it all over the place. I mean, every politician who says that they love the Lord ends up getting busted with some girl.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
Not every.
Not every. But I mean, I'm
but,
saying how many.
Big one.
When you talk a lot about something that you're against, most of the time it's in you.
Your life becomes enthralled with it.
Right.
It becomes
because you want to resist it
consumed.
and fight against it.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
No.
So
Totally.
anytime somebody's that vehemently against me, I'm like, oh, honey, just come out.
Oh,
It's
sweet.
okay.
Oh, sweet pie.
Oh, honey.
Oh, baby.
Hey, it's the truth, right? It's like there's something in them that really
Do you need
needs
a hug?
to be. Yeah, they really need to be healed, and it's sad, but it's true.
Dude,
been
I
told
used to
that they
get.
can't
I
be
tell you, when I was younger, well, we talked about this before. I mean, I'm all man. I'm all the whole.
Yeah.
I'm
On the
married.
Kinsey scale, you're on the masculine side. But there's a scale, right? There's
Yeah.
a whole fluid thing about gender, and you're on the masculine
Yeah.
side, and there's females
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
feminine
but that's a
side.
good way to put
But
it.
you also know women who are on the masculine
Yeah,
side
yeah,
who
yeah.
are not gay.
Yeah.
Right? We grew up in Kansas.
Exactly.
We know about farm girls.
Farm girls. Exactly.
There's-
But that's a good way of putting it. Instead of man, female, or man, woman, masculine, feminine.
There you go.
That's a whole different way of looking
Right.
at it, and you get your mind straight on it.
And that's where I'm trying to distinguish that the man, woman, or female, male is sex.
Mm-hmm.
Masculine, feminine is gender.
Yeah.
Right, so gender expression and gender identity
Okay.
are not the same as genitals. Kind of a silly argument. I just said that every gay person I know had straight parents.
Uh-huh.
Right? Get it?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So you can't influence somebody to be straight any more than you can influence somebody to be gay.
Okay.
So,
Well,
and sexual orientation and gender are not the same thing
well,
either.
but I'm
So-
not trying to be as crass as it sounds. Okay, you're talking about that boy that's carrying the doll, playing with the doll. Rip the doll away. Don't you play with that doll. So you see a boy there not playing with the doll. And you go and put like his doll. You can't force the doll into his hand and say, here,
You
play.
can try, but if a boy doesn't want to play with the doll, he's going to throw the doll. Or, what I see boys is they'll use it as a bat or a weapon or a gun. So, I mean, you can try, but I'm telling you, you can't force that stuff
Yeah.
on people. You can beat it out of them, and that turns them into violent homophobes, but that's not.
That's not
But
cool.
you can't influence people just by
we
living.
don't like that.
It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way.
So okay, so I know when we first came on, you talked about what you do, but go into more for everyone about the gender reveal party.
Yeah, so first of all, do you know what a gender reveal party is? Like, have you ever been to one?
I know now because you told me, but no, I have not.
Okay, so out in the world, there's this thing called a gender reveal party where a pregnant couple has
Well,
people over.
I've been to one.
Okay, well, that's what people call a gender reveal party.
Yeah.
That's not a gender reveal party. That's a genital reveal party.
Yeah.
You actually found out what the baby's genitals were. So in my show, there's no baby sex parts. I want to make sure that's clear.
Well,
We are talking about gender, not genitals.
Okay, and
So in my
so
show-
by definition, a man is a human with a penis.
A man species, yes.
Okay.
Like, so
A
we're
female
talking about the
species
sex parts
is a female without.
with a vulva, right?
With,
You say the word, it's okay.
with the vagina, with the vagina,
You could say vulva,
with the
vagina.
JJ,
They're different.
with
you
the
know that a
JJ.
vulva and a vagina are not the same thing. Please tell me you do.
I say
No,
that.
Please tell me you do.
That
Just say
this
yes.
whole
Just say yes.
lead in. Hold on. this whole lead in right here was just so I could say with JJ.
I know.
It's the whole lead in. Thank you.
I
Lights
know.
out. Shut off. We're
Right.
going home.
I know.
End the show.
Okay. So anyway, yeah. Sex-wise, yes. In terms of species, yes. But we're talking about gender, because you're calling it gender at the gender reveal party. I'm saying they're not gender reveal parties. My show, the gender reveal party, there's two things. One, I have a one-human show, and you can see it at thegenderrevealparty.com. And I have a podcast called the Gender Reveal Party Podcast. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts. I understand you can't even ask Alexa to play it, and she'll play it. So the Gender Reveal Party Podcast by Jay Pryor. We're at the Gender Reveal Party the Gender Reveal Party on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm Pryor J on Twitter. So, and my show, we're just talking about, we're unfolding gender for people. So I've talked to, a butch woman who identifies as a woman but is very masculine. I've talked to trans women, trans men, out trans men, stealth trans men so far. This week we have my friend who identifies as non-binary, which I identify as genderqueer. So it's just all kinds of conversation to deepen this conversation so people will really start to understand the distinction between genitals and gender. They're not the same thing. And, the good news is the Gen Z generation, my kids' age, they're already gotten that figured out. They're done with gender roles.
They're clear on that.
So, I mean, it's getting a lot more fluid, that's for sure.
It's just a matter of just time.
Yeah, I agree.
Time. I don't know if you would say time heals all things, but time evolves
all things.
All things.
I agree.
So, man. Okay, so going into this, how did you get? Okay, I realized we went through the whole past history of you, but how did you get into the show?
Well,
what led you to that? And I know
it's a long story, but
yeah.
I've always done. I'm a speaker and I'm an author, and I've done some stand up and stuff like that. I'm a storyteller, and so I was on testosterone from 2001 to 2018, and that's why I say I lived as an undercover white guy, because I never identified myself as a man. Yeah. But I was in the world as a man, and I still am. So amongst men, like if you didn't know me, we'd be hanging out at a networking event, being me, you, and a couple other guys. I'd just be amongst all of these guys, and you guys would think I was a dude just like you.
Yeah.
And so, I could tell you that I wore a pink taffeta dress to my prom in that conversation, and I might choose to.
And you might.
But I might not. And if I don't, then I feel, then it's like, then I am in this world of men that, is it's like getting the key to the men's room is a whole different conversation. Like you guys talk about different things. You talk, anyway. So
well, first off, let me get this out there real quick, Jay. I want to thank you. The first time we met, but probably we were in the conversation for about 3-4 minutes, and we were both open, telling each other about our past, our lives, our history, and so we were very open and very, very honest. Yeah, and I think that's how people should be in this world. I think people should not be afraid to come out, or not even being afraid, but people should avoid being nefarious and trying to hide something for some. I mean, just be open.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and to be clear, when trans people are not sharing that if they're not an out trans person, that they're not being nefarious. They're just being themselves. But also, for some of us, I decide whether I come out or not based on my safety. So, and I'm pretty out. Like I feel like you don't know who I am if you think I'm a full-on dude. Then you don't even know me.
No.
So I want people to really know me. And I think did I go first or you went first? I can't remember.
I think I did.
I think you went first. Because you also set the stage for that, right? Because seriously, and we talked about that, where when you're willing to be vulnerable with people, it provides a space that then lets other people be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so you really set the stage for that.
Yeah, it sets the comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I believe like telling my story, my situation. I just don't want anybody going into a relationship with me. And that's it too. When you say relationship, it's not like lovers. It's not like, but it's a relationship thing by friendship. I mean, a partnership, a business, whatever.
Anything.
But I don't want anybody thinking one thing and then finding out years down the road something else, and then going, oh my gosh, and I never intended to lie to you, but I mean, then you going, oh man, why did he not tell me? Was he what else is he holding back from me? Is he lying to me? Yeah. So that's the and like I said, just honesty, and it's all about love and respect.
Yeah, and for me, it's always also been about I remember very vividly what it was like to drive my car 100 miles an hour down a country road because I wanted to die. And I don't want any of my kids, any of my nieces and nephews, any kid on this planet to have to feel that way. And so me being out, like even if you and I never connected again, let's say 10, 15 years down the line, your nephew or niece or some kid in your neighborhood came out to you, you'd remember me and be like, I know somebody, because I've had it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people call me 20 years later and be like, my kid just came out to me as trans, you're the first person I thought of. Wow. So I'm really always committed to being known, but also to like, once you know me and you like me, then you're going to also have a different perspective. Right? And so and sharing stories, for me, when you really share stories, that's when you connect with people's hearts.
And comfortability and vulnerability.
I'm sharing people's stories.
Yeah.
I want them to connect to their hearts. I want to see that we're living, breathing people, right? And that we have hearts. And so that's that whole connection is so important for me, and that's why we tell stories. And that's always been my commitment, to be that out person, that at least somebody can say, I know somebody, right? I know where to go. I know how to find somebody. I know I can get like that. So I'm always willing to be that person.
Do you feel that race plays a factor in a person's decision? I know the answer, but just get it out there. In a person's decision or a person's sexual, biological makeup?
No. I mean, I don't think that I know that there's not. I mean, there's no differences between human beings, regardless of race. So that's not a thing. But also, I do think that there are some cultures that it's harder to come out in because they have such a binary lens. So I just met a woman who's an Egyptian trans woman, and coming out as, in her culture, there's not a lot of, she doesn't have a lot of role models of other women who are Egyptian who are out as trans, because that culture is very, very binary. So, and it's not as open. Now, not that your average Anglo-Saxon Protestant or Catholic human being, you know, white people are not binary, but there is less of a staunch, you know, binary culture. So I think some cultures are harder to come out in than others, but I don't think it has anything to do with race. And I don't think that makes sense. But does that make sense, right?
Yeah,
There are some people that are more staunchly, even like if you were raised Baptist versus being raised Episcopalian, right? You may have an easier time because Episcopalians have had women priests and have accepted gay people forever, and Baptists are still not. So it's just about culture.
And that's kind of what I was getting into with, race.
Sure.
I mean, not so much, well, just because I can already tell I'm going to have questions pop up on YouTube or whatever about people saying, so, well, if a black guy or if a brown or if a Chinese or if a Mexican, do they have,
people are funny.
But still, like I said, but I'm glad you went into that about it being easy, because that's kind of what I was getting into about with the race, it being easier for a person to come out because of their culture accepting it. Yeah. And again, it's not about it's kind of like how it goes with, like, and this is a different topic, and we're not going to get into it, but I mean, like with racism, I see it not so much as racism on umbrella, but I see it more as individualism and society. Culture. I mean, like, as far as we don't want to
go there. Racism is a system that you literally breathe in.
Yeah.
So
exactly. It's not born with it.
Born into it, though.
Yeah, born into it, not born with it.
It's impossible to be a person on the planet and not be racist.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
Okay, so
that's a whole other conversation.
Let's skip racism.
Let's skip right over racism. Go to homophobia and transphobia. Same thing. Possible to be born into a binary system that teaches you that that you're supposed to have gender roles based on your genitals and not be homophobic and transphobic.
So, have you met people that are homosexual, that are transgender, that whatever, that are have a ism towards straight?
Well, I mean, if they do, it's because it's usually they've been hurt so many times that they're just frustrated and angry. But I don't know anybody who's like, I hate all straight people. But if they, I do know people who are like, it's not fun for us to, it's like there's something really powerful about being with people who are like you.
Yeah.
And so, if I hang out with straight people for a long time, I start to miss queers because I'm like, oh my God, can we not have one more conversation that's so binary? I know you have to take out the trash because you have a penis, but come on, man. Those, it's just crazy. So, but I don't know anybody. I just, those conversations are, it's possible. I don't know, but I don't know anybody like that. And if I do know people who are frustrated and hurt, it's because they've been hurt.
Well, the reason I bring that up is because I've met people that are that. And granted,
well, they weren't born that way either.
Granted, the stigmatism is going to be there for generations. But as we move into this generation X, Y, whatever this
Z.
generation, whatever we're in now,
and the next one is Generation Alpha. I understand because they're starting over.
Yeah. But the generation we move into that are more. Like we said, they're more evolved, I guess, or more whatever. So. But have the mindset they grew up in this society, so it's more natural to them. I have met people, met youngsters, met these kids that have not really been through any emotional or stressful or, they grew up in LA, and they've not been through the stuff like that you've been through. The homophobia, the whatever, but they have a hatred towards this type of man, and I say man because it's more man than woman. It's more the white straight male is becoming the new outcast, and so
an outcast with a lot of power. Well, let's just say that.
Come
on, man.
But yeah.
When the entire world is designed for you,
it's becoming. I'm sorry,
it's hard to be an outcast.
Not becoming the outcast, but becoming the bad guy.
Okay.
You agree to that?
I don't know about a bad guy, but
well, and to an
either
extent,
way,
again,
a bad guy with a lot of power.
Again, I'm not trying to umbrella the whole thing, but
I know. But it's just when you have all the power and all the privilege, it's hard to claim victim, buddy.
Well, I'm not trying to claim victim. I'm saying bad guy.
If you're seen as the bad guy, or seen as the,
it's not a bad guy can be a bad guy and not be a victim.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, we agree on that?
Anyway, sure.
So
we're getting derailed. I'm not sure what we're talking about.
so where are we going to stop?
Yeah, I don't know. Your train, man. I'm just trying to hang on.
I'm driving straight to a mountainside. So yeah, like I said, I know people that just because it's, and on the surface, I'm sure it goes deeper. I know it goes deeper, but on the surface, just to be with the and whatever circle you're in at that time, the cool crowd. I
guess my question is, what's the point of focusing on that, right?
For me to focus on?
Yeah, like what's the impetus to the question, or?
Well, I'm just trying to get your thoughts on it. What about like the person that sees it like that is now decides to reverse? And again, I'm not totally reversed. I realize that there's oppression and there's whatever, but to see that person, that boy, he's still a boy, he's under 25, but that boy has not really faced any conflict or any aggression that he has not brought upon himself. But he still has that hate, that anger, and we're friends. So I'm a cool guy. I'm not a cool guy, but I'm open to all ideas.
I think it's important to say that on the planet, and I don't even remember how many billions of people are on the planet right now, but there are individuals who have all kinds of bias and hatred and weird things that they've decided. And I don't keep up with all that. I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of 7 billion people with 7 billion different opinions.
To answer your question, I'm not wanting you to sit here and take the stand as I stand up for, I'm the voice for all Non-binary.
Yeah.
All.
I'm 55 years old, so
Yeah.
to those
But
25-year-olds,
I just want to
I'm
hear
a
you.
dinosaur.
I just.
I am like the oldest gay they've ever met. They're like, what in the actual? You're still alive? What's happening?
But I like I said, I just want to hear your opinion on it. I want to hear your personal opinion.
I just
thoughts
gave
on
it. I just gave my personal opinion. There's 6 billion people on the planet, and there's 6 billion perspectives, and that guy has his.
Mm-hmm.
And he's 20 something. So
Yeah,
I
25.
don't really,
25.
are they really even
yeah.
conscious yet?
Yeah.
Is this executive functioning even there yet?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Well,
So, like, I mean,
he's got a lot to learn, and that's what I tell him.
and so do I.
That's what. And
I think everybody my age should have a mentor that's like 30.
Yeah.
So personally, but I want to be a lifelong learner and be able to expand and shed myself of all and unlearn all the stuff that, when there's new stuff to learn, I just want to shed all the old stuff and learn new stuff because that's my commitment, is to be a lifelong learner.
Man. Okay, so switching from race and that type of stuff, but let's go into a different topic, more positive.
You want to talk about religion now?
Let's go into religion.
I tried to give you a segue to religion before.
I saw, but I wasn't.
If you want
ready
to cut and do that, you can. I'm just telling you. I tried to segue you in there.
I want to zigzag.
So when I brought up the Baptist and the Catholic.
So you said Baptist and Episcopalian.
You're right, because Catholics don't have women priests.
Still,
Catholics still don't have women priests, right? So I was talking about Episcopalians.
Well, the different types of Catholic. I mean, there's the Roman Catholic Church. Right now does not have women priests. But certain sects of Catholicism has broken off where they have women priests.
Oh, cool.
So
I didn't know that.
But yeah. I mean that whole idea.
So I really don't ever want to debate or have a conversation about religion in terms of, again, religion is something that is deep-seated into belief. Mm-hmm. And belief is something I am never, ever, 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 ever going to try and change for somebody. Mm-hmm. So I really don't. All I have to say about religion is good for you. Now, there is a big distinction between spirituality and religion. Yeah. Because in spirituality, in the world of spirituality, God, spirit, the universe, whatever you call your source, like where you came from, I call it my source. Mm-hmm. No one can take that away from me. That's my spirituality.
Yeah.
The church, the Catholic Church, took my religion away from me when the priest said to me, you can be a homosexual, but if you practice homosexuality, you can no longer take communion. And basically, and that, if you were raised Catholic like I was, the Eucharist is the whole point of going to Mass. Yeah. Transubstantiation is a distinction of Catholicism.
Yes.
And understanding how I was raised, I had my religion ripped away from me.
I'm sorry
so
for that.
Religion and spirituality are totally different because no one can take my spirituality away from me. That is part of my soul. It's part of my spirit. It's part of who I am.
When you
say I come from,
when you say spirituality, I say my word
the
for
divinity.
That is faith.
Okay.
That faith.
No one can take in your words. No one can take my faith from me. But my religion was snatched away from me at the age of 19 years old. So that's I don't really have much more to say about that. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. I'll talk spirituality all day long, but I'm not a religious. I go to a unity community, and we have tenets, but we're more about spirituality and accessing spirit and the faith that I live by and my values like that. Yeah. But religion and spirituality are not the same thing.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That makes me sad because I am a Catholic, and I'm sure you know that. And I mean, it's
somebody told you can't take the Eucharist anymore, or why go to church?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I reside in the fact of faith. Like I said, faith, Catholic faith. I mean, means the world to me. And that's where. And when you go down to it, like I said, when it all comes down to it, like I told you before, love and respect, and the two greatest commandments that Jesus ever said was love God and love others. And that's yeah, like I said, love and respect. So
And love others because you love yourself, right? And so it's, I think, honoring and loving yourself is something
love others,
we give
love
out.
yourself.
We act like that's a piece we should step over.
Yeah, no,
And it's not.
it's not.
It's
close.
loving yourself and be able to love others the way
Yeah.
you love
'Cause
yourself.
you can't
But
love
what I
others.
find is most people need to start loving themselves the way that they love other people.
Yeah,
Because most people don't love themselves.
yeah, and that's and to love yourself, you got to be. You got to understand yourself. You got to. I mean, and I shouldn't say that because I mean, you can never truly understand anything. But I mean, to be comfortable with who you are.
Yeah.
And to grow. I mean, but there's so many different avenues that you can take with that. But yeah, gosh, we've said a mouthful.
Yeah. There's I can always, once you get a bunch of feedback from this, you can always come back and do part 3 or whatever. Because you never know.
Okay,
A lot of times this is the podcast that goes the biggest, so you never can tell.
Do what now?
A lot of times people generate a lot of activity around trans stuff. People are very curious.
That's so yeah, and I'm excited for that because I'm excited to like I said, I tried for what I told you about it, what I've been through in life. I told the viewers what I've been through in life. I have no right to judge anybody, no right to draw. I draw opinions. I draw fact-based opinions off of somebody's actions. I mean, the garden they sow. But I mean, it's like I said, everyone deserves love. Everyone needs love. And I mean, man, dude, Jay, I love you, man. It's all
too,
good. Thank you for coming here.
Yeah.
I look forward to you coming back, man. You got to come. And again, I'm sorry for saying. Not man. Whoa,
man.
Whoa, man.
You call me a whoa man anytime. Whoa, man.
I'm saying whoa, man. Whoa, man.
Whoa, man. Because I don't relate to the word woman, and nor do I relate to the word man. But whoa, man. Hey, man, I'll take it.
Whoa, man.
Yeah, and I hope your listeners will check out the Gender Reveal Party podcast.
And like I said, in the
Show notes and stuff.
Yeah, in the comments, man. I'll leave in the
Yeah.
comments below. Have you send me all your stuff that you want me to post on it?
Yeah, for sure.
And in the description.
Yeah, we'll send you my
sure.
bio or whatever you need, like the description and the links to the show and all that kind of stuff.
Cool. Be sure and subscribe. All stuff, I mean, the bell, dinger bell, the description, the comments, everything else. You know what to do. I'm not telling you just do what you do. Do what you do, right, Jay?
Do what you do. They know what to do. Rate, subscribe, and rate and review. Subscribe, rate, and review.
Right. Like, comment, follow, share.
There you go.
All right, Paul Michael Davis, the whoa man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Mrs. Human, Jay Pryor.
Nice to see you, buddy. Yeah. Love you too.
All right, Paul Michael Davis, we're out.
What to do? Hey, Paul Michael Davis, MCTV Live. You're watching my channel, all right? Subscribe, like, share, comment. Hit that little notification bell at the bottom somewhere. And hey, check us out for some more of what we got coming to you in the near future. Tomorrow, maybe today. Heck, maybe right now. Check out the channel, all right? Paul Michael Davis, MCTV Live. Aha.